This will be a fun one. I'm going to go to Nick first on this. Who is going to have the bigger legacy as a Premier League player? Kevin De Bruyne, Steven Gerrard.
Whoo! I mean,
easy.
I think we can have the debate for what right now as well. To be honest, I don't think
you can do it. You can probably do it now. Yeah. You probably can.
Kevin De Bruyne's there's two issues. Kevin De Bruyne's only issue is that he plays for Man City, and there's only 5 Man City fans: Yannicka, Ray, Dap, Steve, and who's the other one I was thinking about?
5.
See, I'm stuck. There's one more.
I know Daps and Yan.
Nobbins. I give Nobbins. Yeah, Nobbins. I ain't seen him for a while. Maybe he's not a Man City fan anymore.
He's been on holiday.
Well, yeah. I know Daps, Yan, and my boy Damien. That's it.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, I don't know
if they win stuff. If they win stuff, I don't mind. You know, if Arsenal bottle the league,
that's what I was thinking. Hamza, I'll give them 6. There's 6 of them.
So if Arsenal bottle the league, I don't mind taking a banner from Man City fans because I've only got to hear it from 3
exactly.
people.
and that's Kevin De Bruyne's only problem in this, is that he ain't got a big fan base propping him up. Other than the fact in this debate, the other person is Steven Gerrard, which means that the other 19 teams in the Premier League is not going to prop up a Liverpool player. So that's the only issue, Kevin De Bruyne. In terms of what he's actually done and doing and going to do, yeah, his legacy surpassed Steven Gerrard. It really does. Steven Gerrard is English, so of course the English media generally are going to keep him in a debate. Not to say he doesn't deserve to be in debate, but keep him in debate longer than they would anyone else with a record like his. I'm not saying it's a bad record, but I'm just saying that a record like his, if he wasn't English, he wouldn't be in the debate for as long as he was. But Kevin De Bruyne is 4 Premier Leagues, 2 back-to-backs. He probably needs a Champions League, especially when he went off injured in the final. They lost the final. Gerrard has a Champions League final. Like that was his final.
That whole campaign.
Oh, that's his whole legacy, though. That's the thing,
Olympiacos in the group.
But Neeks, don't you think like that is Gerrard's whole legacy? Is that Champions League? Whereas Kevin De Bruyne has many things to this. Like he doesn't have just the Champions League. He has Premier Leagues. He has the FA Cups. He's been the captain for Man City. He's a big game player for Manchester City.
All right. One second. All right. Let me ask you a question. Because you said we can talk about it now. Name me 3 iconic Kevin De Bruyne games.
I'm not a Man City fan, so I'm not going to be able to name you iconic performances. But I can tell you plenty of big games that he's turned up.
I'm not saying he hasn't, I'm not saying he hasn't. I'm not a Liverpool fan.
But this is the reason, like the same thing. Like he's never won Premier League Player of the Month off the top of my head.
Yeah, he hasn't.
But it's just consistent. It's consistently 8 or 9 out of 10 every single game, just doing his thing, just cleaning things up.
But I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I can name 3 Steven Gerrard games off the top of my head. Olympiacos, West Ham final.
West Ham in the final.
Yeah, AC Milan final.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that's when it comes to legacy. When they're gone and finished, it's about what you remember. We can all go onto Wikipedia. We can all go onto all the stats and look at how many goals and but as people who watch them, what do you remember? And I'm not saying Kevin De Bruyne has been great, as you said, it's 7, 8, and at times 9s. But where's the iconic? An iconic moment I remember for him is more for Belgium in the World Cup, the goal against Brazil. I don't have that moment for Man City that I can say at the end of his career, we're going to remember 1, 2, and 3.
I mean, KDB against because United, there's a lot of people saying in the chat, and that was one game that would come into my head. KDB's had a few games against Man United in their rivalry, and he's turned up and been the goal scorer, the only guy that's got 2 goals, 2 assists in that game, and he's had a massive game.
He's turned up.
And maybe not. The thing is, I just think that he's missing, like you say, the cup finals. That's because Man City. Let's be real. The only cup finals that he's played in for City have been League Cup, FA Cups, and majority of the time they've never really had a big team to play. They play some dead fluff teams like Watford and so on, and they've played Chelsea once. And I don't think he's had that moment where he's had to turn up and be that guy because Man City have been so much better than the other teams that he just blends in and they're just winning.
I just think.
I just want to say, sorry, Gab. I lose my train of thought. Sorry, mate. I feel like I get it, and that the iconic moments is in Gerrard ticks that box. the question I'm asking isn't taking it away from him because this benefits Rooney as well. But do you think because Gerrard is English, we have his great moments pumped into our eyes more than KDB? Because if KDB was English, I think the newspapers, the journalists, all the English players get spoke about more. And by the way, I've always defended there's nothing wrong with it because the British TV programs and newspapers have a vested interest because people have to remember there are tens of millions of football fans who don't support top 6 teams. In fact, millions that don't support Premier League teams. Their care, like my brothers are all Leyton Orient fans, why they follow the Premier League is to look at the England players because they play for their national team. So when you get Gerrards and Rooneys and Lampards, I'm naming some old school legends here. You know, Saka's getting a lot of praise at the moment. Look at the level of praise Rashford is getting for his goals. You know, and Rashford is getting a lot more praise in the last few months than Haaland. And if Rashford keeps scoring like this, I'm telling you, Rashford will be sung about more in the media than Haaland is because he's English and it actually sells more. Do you think that goes against people like KDB or not so much?
Well, that's like the argument that we're having about Drogba and iconic moments in that situation. What, like all the finals that he's done and he's turned up, he's not English. You know what I mean? So that argument is all like semi-debunked. But then when it comes to legacy, it is about memory and remembering those big moments. That for me, KDB is by far a better player than Steven Gerrard was and ever will be. But in terms of what they've brought to our eyes and what they've done in the past, that's like folklore. So I would have to say that Gerrard, legacy-wise, is above KDB, which hurts me because KDB is so good and he's a far better player.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one. As much as I said, I don't. It's hard. Can I see Kevin De Bruyne winning a Champions League with Man City? Yeah. And if he does that, and he had, because the thing is, you know, for me, I did ask Jules for 3. I don't know if maybe he's got 1. My most iconic Kevin De Bruyne performance was actually at the Bernabeu. For me, that was the moment. I think that was 2019, I believe it was. That was the moment for me that I said, yeah, he's the best player in the world, best midfielder in the world. Because anything else he'd done before that, all right, you're playing against the Wolves and the Premier League player. But now you need to do it in the big moments and get the big teams away from home in the big competitions. And he did it in the Bernabeu. I think they won the game 2-0, 2-1 or something like that. And he didn't go on to win the Champions League.
Do you know what I think Man City players struggle with? Is, like you guys were saying earlier, like if they win the leagues, you're not that bothered. I think people kind of, when they play, they don't really watch. When they win, they go, great, they win leagues. Meh. When Chelsea are doing it, or Arsenal are doing it, or Liverpool are doing it, we're all watching on tender hooks, waiting for the downfall. So even if you're watching for them to lose, you're still watching those games. I just think people don't watch enough, and that's not a dig. I just don't think people watch enough City because
I agree.
I Googled Kevin De Bruyne's iconic moments for Man City, or most iconic moments of him. And this article says glory in Genk, Bruyne on the brink, breaking the assist record, breaking the Bundesliga assist record, proving doubters wrong by assisting well in the Premier League, the game at the Bernabeu, and being one of the leading lights in the Centurions. They're not even talking about, and then internationally, they say the Belgian Samba against Brazil. I think it's 2018.
The 2018 World Cup.
2018 World Cup. Outside of that, they're not like, I think if you did that with Gerrard, or that with Rooney, or that with Giggs, or if that with Lampard, they would name matches and goals and moments. And
do you reckon? I've got a question actually. Do you reckon the reason behind that is because, see, with Gerrard, right? He had to play with a lot of dross in his time.
Yeah,
he was the main guy, so you would see him picking up everybody by the scruff of their neck and driving the team forward. Is it because KDB makes the game look so easy and effortless? And
he plays it in a different way.
I agree. I think it's that. I feel like the expectation for KDB and Man City is just up here, where with Liverpool and Gerrard, it was down here. So whenever you saw Gerrard have these amazing games, it's because you didn't expect it from Liverpool and you didn't expect it from Gerrard. Whereas Manchester City and Kevin De Bruyne, when you see him play, it's just like, this is just another game from Kevin De Bruyne. We expect to see this from him. And he just does it at such a high level. When you see him, it's like, wow. Sometimes you see some of the passes he's making, you just be like, you never see a player make a pass like that.
Do you know what? Like, a lot of people are not they're like, goals from Haaland, so what? That's because we've watched 10 years of watching Messi and Ronaldo score like that. Messi and Ronaldo's goal shocked us because nobody was scoring at that rate before them. The example I saw someone give online, it was warped, but it made sense. It was like, if you're someone that handles venomous snakes, you grow an immunity to the venom, and the venom doesn't hurt you anymore to a certain degree. But you get bit by one of them snakes and you ain't used to it, you feel it, that your arm is burning, you're rushing to hospital. Maybe because KDB is just always so good, it all kind of molds into just KDB being KDB rather than good. And then he has this outstanding game that like shines because it's a massive peak and then goes back to being a 7 out of 10, and then puts another 10. Maybe there's a bit of that in there.
No, I heard that.
So where are we ranking him, boys? Who are we ranking?
I think by the time Kevin De Bruyne's done in the Premier League, I think his legacy will be greater. I can see them winning the Champions League. I hope they don't. I think they'll win more Premier Leagues before he's done, and potentially a Europa League. Yeah, they can have that.
What you saying, George?
Yeah, I got KDB as well, man.
KDB.
I think right now, and by the time he's finished, he's already there for me.
Player-wise, KDB all day. Legacy-wise, Gerrard.
Yeah, I'd probably go. I'm going to agree with you on this one, Gav, and go with Gerrard. You convinced me. However, we have had super chats that have come in that you've seen us put up on the board. KDB's on 5. Gerrard's on 2. So KDB remains in that position. The votes have come in. 65% of the viewers have said KDB as well. So that, remember, you can super chat at any point for any.
Where's the Liverpool fans at today? They're usually active in the comments, but where's the super chat?
They're watching Van Dijk. They're watching Van Dijk get spun by Mbappe.
Yeah.